What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another knee-jerk reaction for FPL. My name is Mo. Thank you so much for visiting my stream. How is everyone? How did your week go? What are the good news? What are the bad news? What a game week we had. So there was 4 game week fixtures that we had, guys, and it was an absolute, let's say, a roller coaster ride. Starting off with Bamford's news for him being fit and ready to play. So here we are. So today we're going to go through all the reaction to what's coming this week. Thank you so much for all your questions that have come through. So I'll go through those as well. Got a live chat going on as well. So please comment on the live chat as well. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what questions you have. And let's get cracking with this knee-jerk reaction. So it's a live stream. This is my second live stream that I'm doing. So please bear with me if I make any errors or if I'm a bit slow in terms of responding to your questions. It's my first real attempt in terms of answering questions live on the chat, so please bear with me, and I also have some questions lined up for me to answer as well. So before we start, welcome back to my channel. This is FPL Inkling. We're growing as a channel, so we've got around 161 subscribers at the moment. Thank you so much. I know that around 50 to 55% of people who are watching my videos at the moment are actually not my subscribers, so if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. If you want notifications for live streams like this or my latest content being released, hit the notification icon. And also, if you want to be part of more streams like this, hit the like button and be part of the channel by subscribing. So thank you so much. So we should proceed forward in terms of the knee-jerk reaction. How was it, guys? What's going on? What was your score? So from my team here, as I can show you guys, so we'll start from here. At the moment, it shows 25 points. Now, the reason for that is my captain for the week was Gareth Bale. So he didn't start this week, which was a shame for me. But in regards to the fact that he didn't start, it didn't actually cost me too much. So he hasn't come on, which wasn't great because I was kind of expecting like a mini cameo from him, about a half an hour cameo, so like he has been doing for the last couple of games. So for example, in midweek for Europe as well. So it's interesting to see that he wasn't brought on. So my captaincy kind of falls on to Antonio now. Antonio got 7 points, which will be 14. So my game week points for blank game week 29 will be around, I think it's going to be +7, so 32 points. So for me, it's disappointing. I should have had 7 players playing. Obviously, Son didn't play, so it left me with 6. I was aiming for about the 40 to 50 points mark, but it's a shame. But to be fair, I got 11 points from Bamford. Would I have got that from Bale if he'd started and not scored? I probably would have got just 4. So if I look at the whole perspective from there, it's not too bad. But I would have liked a bit more. Maybe a goal from Watkins or something from Reguilon. Unfortunately, he went off injured around 55 minutes, so I lost out on the clean sheet points there as well, which is quite frustrating. It's now to be seen whether he's going to be fit enough for game week 30 itself or not. We'll wait to see how that will pan out. In regards to other fixtures, other game scores, we can go through that as well, and we'll go through some questions as well. So we'll start with a big game on Friday for me. I think that was the biggest game in this weekend in the sense that it had like a meaning of Fulham being able to come back in terms of the Premier League fight. They've been doing really well recently. Are they going to be a team that's going to stay up? Are they going to challenge the sides alongside them, so like Brighton, Newcastle, Southampton? Will they actually be able to stay in the top flight itself? So that was a really interesting game against Leeds, because we all know Leeds like to be expansive. My prediction for this game, I think it was 1-1, but 2-1. I think it was a fair result at the end. Leeds really did come out playing really well, to be fair, during the game, but we have to kind of bear in mind that, if you've got players like Patrick Bamford who are on their game. And the one thing I love about Patrick Bamford is he's not selfish. He will go out there, he will get assists. I remember him admitting in I think it was a post-match interview, I think it was against Everton, I think a couple of weeks ago, where they were like, well, why don't you just go for the goal yourself? And he admitted that he actually had himself in his own fantasy team. So that's something that, in regards to himself, he's not really selfish, and he will kind of set up other teams' players as well. In regards to Son, I'm hoping he should be back after the kind of like midweek break. He's going away for international duty He has been selected for his national side, but I doubt he's going to play. So let's see. Mourinho looked a bit frustrated. Harry Kane, again, didn't do much in the game. One chance, gets the penalty. I know he played smart, and that's what makes Harry Kane such a great asset for FPL. He will get into places, he will win free kicks, he'll win penalties, he'll get the assists, he'll bury the penalties, all free kicks when he gets on the set pieces. So that's what makes him such a good asset. I am now tempted to bring him in for the next game week. Who to drop? Antonio's been really good. Watkins, he's got an extra game week to still play compared to other teams. So it's between Antonio and Watkins. Who do I think will get me more? Antonio, it was such a kick in the teeth watching him slide across the 6 yards area, clip the ball with his studs, and it hits the post. I think that was harder to do than actually score, and that's the kind of luck that's been running for most managers. I mean, if that's another goal, so I guess that would be another 4 points. That would have been 11 in total. So there are little moments like that which, if it had been the other way or either way, it's one of those. Gareth Bale, I had a question just now on Instagram asking me, is it worth keeping him? Is it worth taking him out? Guys, I'm not going to be painting any sugarcoats over it. I've been disappointed massively. Now, yeah, he got some returns. I got excited. I joined the bandwagon, and look what's happened. He's not played, and it's cost, and that's £9.5 million worth of a player that's on my team now that hasn't played. Now, I know I should have something on the bench, but this is one of those odd game weeks. Do I really want to have a player who's not going to play 9.5 mil? It's a question I want to ask. What's the reason? I'm not too sure, but that is a huge kick in the teeth, and I'm really strongly considering at the moment to substitute him out. So we can have a look here. So even in the last couple of game weeks, he got 56 minutes against Arsenal, and then I know he got the double-digit game weeks, but he's looking at around 60 odd minutes, and for 9.5 mil, it's just not good enough in my opinion. Do you really want a player who takes that much out of your budget, and you don't really get a player who kind of will be a definite starter? That's something that needs to be considered. I know Spurs have banged in 4 goals out of the last couple of game weeks. Are they going to do that week in, week out? Is that the kind of team we're looking for from Mourinho? I'm not too sure. They're out of Europa League now. The only thing realistically they're going to challenge for is the League Cup final. So is Mourinho going to think that he wants to get his 3 big guns fit for the League Cup final to win some silverware? Now, I know he likes to put all his eggs into trophies / silverware. So that's something that we can consider in regards to that. But on the whole, I think Gareth Bale is someone I am considering to take out of my squad. From that, I think Spurs weren't that great, to be fair. They scored a good goal from their new striker in the first part, but it wasn't a clinical performance, if you ask me, from my personal opinion. I think that there was much more to come from a Spurs outfit with that much talent on their squad. But never say never. I might keep him in the end. I might swap him. At the moment, I've got Diaz in defence. I'm not going to triple up on City in attack. I'm not too sure. Gundogan, Foden, Mahrez. Potentially, I'm not going to go back to Jesus, but there's some things I want to think about now to improve my rank further. So we can check that from that angle to see who will be more clinical in terms of what game weeks we have in coming up. So if you look at the next game week's games, so I can go through, and there's some really friendly fixtures for us to consider. So if we go to game week 30, I mean, have a look. You got Chelsea against West Brom. West Brom, yes, they've been half decent since Sam Allardyce came in. They've had the odd good result against United and other teams around them. However, what are we actually going to see from them against Chelsea now? Tuchel, since he's been in charge, I think they've conceded 2 goals in the Premier League. It's ridiculous. So maybe going up and looking at Chelsea defenders might be something that we can consider. Or you can look at their attacking options as well. But in terms of the attacking option, the concern I have is the rotation part. So Pulisic is injured, in and out. So we can actually see that, is he going to be playing regularly or not? Tammy Abraham has been injured recently. I think Werner's been given a good run. You've got all these players like Ziyech, Havertz, but there's a risk of rotation because they've got so much. Mason Mount is for me the most kind of like consistently picked player. I know he was rested a couple of game weeks ago, so if you're looking for some players coming from Chelsea, I'd definitely look at their defence. Goalkeeper, for sure. So in defence, I'll probably choose like someone like Rudiger, Christensen. Alonso, he's a rotational player. Reece James, their goalkeeper's nailed on. I don't see Chelsea changing their goalkeeper. But these are the kind of players that we should really consider. You've got Leeds against Sheffield again. Bamford could have a field day. Vardy and Iheanacho got good returns from their game against Sheffield. So that's another good option for captaincy. And then you've got Leicester Man City. I think Leicester Man City will be the toughest game during that kind of like game week. So maybe not choosing a captain from either player. But then again, the last time these guys met, Leicester did Man City 5-1 at the Etihad. So that's another fixture to contain or understand, because there's no midfield strength for me in Leicester. Yes, they've beaten Manchester United today and there's nothing to take away, but if Maddison and Harvey Barnes were fit, I reckon that would have been something which would have kind of solidified the attack with Vardy and Iheanacho. So that's something to look out for. Let's see the injuries, if they come back for that time or not. Aston Villa, Fulham, again, I reckon any like Aston Villa player that you do have, so maybe like a Watkins would be a good shout. Southampton, Burnley, Newcastle, Spurs. So again, Harry Kane's going to be nailed on for a favourite for captaincy. Arsenal, Liverpool, I doubt there's going to be many captaincy choices from there, especially Liverpool's current form. I don't think Salah, it's going to be a differential if they do pick him or not. United, Brighton. So I'm looking at potentially Bruno Fernandes being my captain once again, who's been my captain for the majority of the season. So we can see it from there that there are some very friendly fixtures coming up. Even Everton, Palace, you can get someone from Everton into like a Richarlison or a Calvert-Lewin. And then West Ham again, Antonio, Cresswell against Wolves, who haven't been in great form. So these are the teams that you're looking at. So there's some kind of like changes we can look at. Hopefully Reguilon isn't too badly injured, so I might not have to consider changing him anytime soon. But there's an international break, so I've got some defenders on the bench to bring in. So I've got Diaz, if I don't change him at all, so we can check it from there and see how it progresses in regards to that. So let's go through some questions, guys, and we'll also go through the other results of this game week. So I got a question around, is it time I got rid of Aubameyang from my team? Now, I took Aubameyang out this week for Gareth Bale, so it hasn't worked out for me either. So if I'd left him in, would I have captained him? I guess again, yes. If I look at the kind of players I have on the pitch available, and he's my most expensive player, probably going to look like the most likeliest to get me a return. In hindsight, we'll look at it now, and he didn't get me a return at all. But let's see what he can do in the game weeks coming ahead. The thing with Aubameyang is, I think he's very low on confidence, and there's a lot of pressure being applied from the Arsenal kind of contingent for him to perform. I think he hasn't got a licence to go through the whole season without not performing, but he's the captain at the end of the day. There's definitely a disciplinary issue. There's a form issue, because as soon as he went off, Arsenal scored and they got back in the game for the second goal, I believe it was. Lacazette header, Chambers cross in. So Aubameyang keeping him in or not? Let's look at his fixtures coming up. So in regards to Arsenal, so Arsenal have Sheffield United the game week after. So they've got Liverpool, followed by Sheffield United, and then Fulham, and then Everton. I think if you've got him in your squad and you've put budget into him and you've used a wild card or you've used a chip or a free hit, I mean, like in terms of free hit, it'll revert back to your team as it is. But if he's in your squad, I think the Liverpool game, don't expect too much from him, because I think there'll be a reaction from Liverpool, and it's considering how well they've played in the Champions League. They've built some confidence around them. They've had a good rest from this blank game week. The team will gel together, get a bit of time with Klopp, reflect on how they've done, take some motivation from the Champions League itself. So Aubameyang for me might not be a good choice for the Liverpool game, but then again, now I've said it, he might go and get you a few returns. But I think the two games after that, they look really good. And even the Everton game, it could be a good game in terms of that could be a Europe place decider for teams who finish in the European places, because Everton have slumped recently as well. So in terms of Aubameyang, if you've got him, keep him. If you don't have him, I wouldn't bring him in personally. I think there's other assets. I'd definitely consider Pepe. Now, Pepe's done really well. I know he didn't start today, but when he came on, the game really flowed. I think Lacazette's really doing well up front as well. And it's just a shame that Martinelli's not been given a shout. So that's someone I would consider if he'd got more minutes under his belt. Saka does what Saka's good at. Now, looking at those fixtures, maybe not in game week 31, but in 32, looking at those 2 or 3 fixtures after for Arsenal, I'm tempted to bring in Saka, because even if I take him out for one of the midfielders, that'll free up some budget for me to strengthen maybe a bit more in attack, or maybe get another midfielder in there with a bit more value for me. So Saka is someone who's really impressed me, so maybe look at him in regards to that. Another question, let's have a read. I'm really gutted I took out Bamford, took a 4-point hit, and I brought in Ollie Watkins and he only got me 2 points. So yes, you've taken a hit and Bamford was out. That's why I always say just make sure you wait till the last day. Now, I personally go ahead and make the transfer straight away. But in terms of Bamford, because it was a dead leg, there was always a potential that he was going to play. So that's why I kept him in. But that's tough if you took him out. And he's come in and scored that many goals and assist returns. Another question is it time to get rid of Lascelles? Well, how long have you had him in? I think 4.2 is a bargain. So if you've got him as a defender, even if he's not in your starting lineup and he's on your bench, then keep him. Next game week that they play, Newcastle are home to Spurs. I don't expect much of a great result there. And then they've got Burnley away, which might be an interesting game for them. And the game after, they have West Ham at home. So there's not really great game weeks coming up. But if you've got a player like Lascelles in your team, he's a first team starter, he's the captain of Newcastle, he's going to be playing week in, week out, then why not consider him and play him? Because even if he's not in your starting lineup, at least you know that if someone doesn't play for your team or is rotated during this COVID hit season, then at least you've got someone who's going to come in for your squad, play, and give you minutes under the belt just in case you need those points. And there's no doubt that he will get those 2 points. Might get the odd clean sheet for Newcastle, so that'd be something that we can look out for. Let's see some more questions that we may have. Was it right for me to sub out Harry Kane? Well, not really. Not after what just happened now. It's not really a great decision to sub out Harry Kane. I mean, he's one of the most finest strikers in the game. When you say sub out, was it? I'm not sure if you mean sub out from the team, or did you transfer him to bring in someone else? But if you just subbed him and put him on the bench, that's a bad move. If you transferred him out, I can understand you probably thought there's someone else to bring in. But looking at these 4 game weeks, I don't really see who's a better striker you could have brought in other than him and Bamford and Ollie Watkins and Antonio. Yeah, so I can see, but it was a bad move nevertheless. Even in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have taken him out. Sophia and Gordon, I missed the deadline this week and I'm pissed. Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few people that missed the deadline because I would think they were aware of the timing of the first game. I think it was on Friday, 8 p.m. So I think there's a lot of people who actually thought that the first game week was on Saturday lunchtime. So yeah, I completely understand. So I think it's how it's pronounced, Fion. I understand your frustration, but how much did that cost you? Like, did you lose out a lot of points? Were there any transfers you were going to make? Feel free to let me know. And we can kind of like move forward and see what kind of damage that has done for you guys. But in terms of knowing it for the next time, guys, I know there's no football next week, but the next deadline that we have is game week 30 is Saturday, the 3rd of April, 11 o'clock in the morning. So that's the next game week deadline that we do have for FPL. And another question that I've just got from Instagram. Why did Bale not start? Is he injured? Well, there's no injury news, guys, so I'm aware of that. I think it could have been rest. Could have been the extra 60 minutes that he played. So I know he came in around 60 minutes mark against the Europa League game, and he only played 60 more minutes. But there was no injury, so I know he sat on the bench. Nothing from Mourinho as well, so I think it was just more tactical and giving the birthday boy striker a forward run. So I've just got a message saying that from Fion I was going to bring in Trossard and Aubameyang. So how much did they score? How much did Trossard and Aubameyang score? Let's have a look for you. So Aubameyang got 2 points, unless you were going to captain him. And Trossard, let's have a look at what he got. Oh, 14 points. Wow. 78 minutes, 1 assist, 3 bonus points, 1 goal, and 1 for clean sheets. Ouch. Wow, wow, it cost you 3 points in your head-to-head league as well. So these are the things, guys. So this is what I'm playing for at the moment as well. In terms of the ranking-wise, this year I wasn't too... Even though I played this game for like 7 years, I wasn't too aware of how double game week or the first 2 game weeks of the year worked out. So it kind of cost me as well. So at the moment, I'm not really playing for a rank. So I'm kind of being brave. I'm being different. I'm making multiple transfers. I'm not too afraid of hits. But in terms of my mini leagues as well, at the moment I am number 2, and I think I'm 3 points behind my mini league as well. So, ouch. I mean, all I can say is, you know, that's just a part of the game. I mean, all we can do is just hope that next time we don't miss the deadline and you can go forward. I mean, it's not too late to bring in Trossard. If you look at his next couple of game weeks, I think he's got some very decent fixtures lined up. So let's have a look. So, I mean, the United game away, United haven't been that great at home this season. Everton at home, I reckon that's a really good game for them. And then Chelsea away, followed by Sheffield United. Yeah, there are some really tough fixtures in there, but I think 2 out of 4 of them are manageable. And the others, they can maybe get some draws. So maybe it's not too late to bring in Trossard now. But ouch. And you've also put down it cost you 3 points in your head-to-head league and only 3 points clear now. But hey, at least you're through 3 points clear. That's good news. But again, if you want to go for gut instincts and go for it, still bring him in because it might be a start of a good run. Brighton have a motive to kind of stay up and work hard in the league as well. So there's no reason why he can't be brought on. I think with the Danny Welbeck, Mopai, Adam Lallana, there's a real good core of Brighton players playing at the moment. So they're really a team to consider. And the one thing I love about Graham Potter, he doesn't give up. He doesn't change his positivity attitude to play towards his game. He doesn't want to be the kind of like, you know, shut up shop, go ahead and defend. You know, even against the game early in the season, I think it's the 3rd game of the season when they lost to, or the 2nd game, they lost to United at home 4-3. It was like an injury time penalty from Bruno Fernandes, I believe it was. But hey, that's when that ridiculous handball rule was around. I think it still is, to be fair. I really don't know what handball is at the moment. But I think with Brighton, you'll always get people who will be in a team trying. And that's something that you can really look out for. I'm looking into Ben Dunk at the moment, to be fair, personally. I reckon he's a really good captain, leads from the front, and he'll be someone who'll be playing regularly as well. I was a bit disappointed with Konsa, to be fair. I think he had a good chance. Martinez let down for the first goal. I'm not too happy about him. I think that's the first time this season he's let me down. Comes out, clears the ball half-hearted, goes straight to a Spurs player. 3 passes, Harry Kane, Lo Celso, and then bang from the new striker. So not really great there. Tyrone Mings, a great clearance from Harry Kane before he was about to pull the trigger. So well done to him as well. Another question is, will Newcastle get relegated? I mean, I like Steve Bruce personally. As a United fan, obviously he has a really good place in my heart. I think he's a great man. I think he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think he loves the club. He's been a bit... I think Steve Bruce has been very unlucky. Put it this way. So he's got a squad, and everyone talks about Liverpool losing Van Dijk, losing Matip, losing, I think there was Thiago for a little bit. They lost Jota for a long while. They lost these players, and everyone was like, oh, even Trent was out for a bit, Robertson. So they had a whole brand new back four, and they've had like 16 centre back pairings. So everyone was going on about Liverpool don't really have the strength. Liverpool don't have the backup. How they're going to perform. But think of it from this perspective. For Newcastle, I'm going to name the 3 players which go from defence, midfield, and attack. And this is the core of their squad. So Lascelles was their club captain, injured, COVID, out for a while, a long time. St. Maximin had long COVID, so he was out for a long time as well. And then you had the striker, Callum Wilson. He was out as well for, I believe, he's still out for a couple of weeks now due to injury. So that's their 3, kind of like if you take out the core of their side. I think it's a lot to draw back. I think there's a lot of teams like Fulham who are kind of like going in the right direction. West Brom, I think they're down. Sheffield United, they're down. But I think the 18th position is going to be kind of like hotly contested between maybe Burnley, Newcastle, Brighton and Fulham. If you had to ask me at this point who's going to go down, I'd definitely I say Newcastle. I think Newcastle at the moment look going down. I mean, this could change in the next 3 or 4 weeks based on the results. But if you look at it from this point, the injuries, there's no St. Maximin, there's no Wilson, so that's like the core of the goals that are going to come from there. Are they going to keep as many clean sheets? Not too sure. So Newcastle for me will be going down. When should I play my wild card? Well, I think it's game week 32 or 33. I think there might be like a double game week. Also, there's news of like double game week pack up around 36, 37. I read something on Twitter, so look out for that. I'd rather not play it over this kind of like 2 week period for the next game week. If you do, leave it to the last week. I'm not too sure about the price changes because it depends on how much movement there is. But I don't think there'll be too much movement in the first week because just in case someone gets injured. But yeah, you can change the squad. But for me, if you're going to play the wild card, I would wait till at least game week 33 and take it from there to see what you can form. So I would definitely go for a double game week personally, or a wild card, because then you can kind of pack up on those players and get a better return, and that would definitely help you with your head-to-head leagues and overall rank as well. Once Son returns, should we triple up on Spurs? I mean, I just got one from Spurs and he didn't start. Who's fit? I mean, I got 2, but neither of them played. I wouldn't triple up on them. I would say if you want to double up, then Son and Kane, definitely. But that's as far as I would go for them. In terms of Bale, if you want to keep him in, it's your choice. But for me, I've learnt the hard way. 9.5 mil not playing. I'd rather take the hit with him being someone else's squad than being in mine, because it was quite painful. Today I was thinking if only I had Pepe or like a Lingard in my squad, I could have got a couple of more points. So yeah, I did prefer him over Lingard this week, and it's come back to bite me quite significantly. Reaction squad as well. How do you feel about losing to Leicester? Well, gutted. Well, they deserved to win. They were a better team on the day. Played well. Iheanacho again, great goal. I think they were very professional. They held on well. United just weren't good enough. So good luck to Leicester in the FA Cup. Good luck to Man City. Chelsea. Let's see who gets what in the draw and who comes up victorious. Let's have a look. So, who else do we have? That's a question-wise. Lingard, is he an essential? Well, I think he might be an essential now, because the way he played today was phenomenal. The way he kind of curved the first goal, really, really good technique. Antonio played it through to him, took a bit of a kind of like a shoulder dip, kind of took the defender out of the game, and a nice little finesse shot in the corner. He's got a real talent. I think he's got a point to prove to not only United, but also Gareth Southgate. So Southgate's going to look on a regard for someone like a Lingard, like a Dele Alli. We had this kind of players for England in the last competition for the World Cup. So I think it's a really good chance for him to actually showcase his talent and let people know what he's actually got in terms of his worth how he can come along and how he can impact not only West Ham but England as well, because I think if someone going into a tournament with a bit of minutes behind him, good form and high confidence, he's definitely going to bring a lot to the table for Gareth Southgate, and he's a good sub option as well. So even if he doesn't play all the games, he'll definitely be coming on. So for me, he's an essential at the moment. And if you look at the next couple of fixtures for West Ham, I don't think you need to look at the kind of difficulty rating. I think from what I've seen so far, his what's the right to say? His ambition to get forward is something that you should be really inspired by. So they got Wolves, Leicester, Newcastle. I don't see a reason why you can't bring him in, because I think from those 3 games, I wouldn't say West Ham's going to win every single one of them, but I think there are the 3 games that he can definitely get at least some returns from, and allow people to get good returns for Lingard as well. I'm thinking of changing my strike force. Who would you recommend to bring in for the next coming weeks? I mean, it depends how many strikers you're looking to bring in. I'll definitely bring in Bamford if you don't have Bamford. If you have Bamford, stick with him. If you have Antonio, I'd say stick with him. If you want to get rid and upgrade to like a Calvert-Lewin or a Harry Kane, I'd say that would be a good idea as well. But it depends who you have in your strike force to upgrade and who you want to bring in terms of the game weeks. As I said, if you look on paper, I think Chelsea have the best game weeks in the next 3 games. But again, who's going to be their strikers? Are they going to play? Are they not going to play? So there's a risk of rotation. Go for someone who's going to play in, week out. I think Che Adams is someone to look out for. Armstrong from Southampton, he's not a striker, but I'm looking at him in terms of midfield to free up some budget for myself to bring in for better strikers or increasing my budget. I've had a bad game week. Only 13 points. Bale captain did not start. Ouch, put Regulon as captain. Only got 2 points. Ooh. Ouch. Well, at the moment it's 1. That will change to 2. I mean, if you take it from that angle, I mean, it's tough. If you look at it from my side, I was quite lucky. I put Antonio as my vice. I'll be brutally honest with you, in terms of my captaincy choice, I was going to have Bale as my captain and Bamford as vice. But there was something telling me in the back of my head to choose Bamford. But earlier on, when I did the captaincy video earlier in the week, I was weak, I'd say. I think I was very inspired by his performances for Bale against the double game week returns he'd got. And I thought, you know what, let's bring him in, let's get a big hit. I think he'll do well against Aston Villa. But little did I know he wasn't going to play, so it's been Antonio for me. So I do feel for you if you brought Bale in. I've got a lot of messages around me promoting Bale as captain and bringing in as an essential or a top 5 pick, and he didn't even start or play a single minute in this game week. But that's fantasy football for you guys. I mean, Pep Roulette is now taking place in every club. That's probably due to the pandemic and the tight schedule, but I assure you next year, back to normal, fingers crossed, and a touch wood, of course, that we do get back to normal and squads can be more regular and more fluent in terms of playing as well. Let's have a look. So what were your thoughts? What was your favourite game? Drop some comments in the live chat as well if you're watching, so let me know what your favourite game was. What was your favourite watch? Which was your watch? What didn't you enjoy watching? Did any of your teams feature in this game week? Are you happy with the results? Let me know. Thank you for your comments that are coming in. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for all the messages and comments I'm getting on social media such as Twitter and my Instagram as well. Thank you so much for recommending Rafinha. Got a good return from him. My pleasure. I'm just gutted I didn't bring him in. In hindsight, it looks better for me to have brought in Rafinha rather than Bale. But again, I had the funds. If this game week was played again, I definitely would have still brought in Bale. It would have been interesting to see what he would have done on the pitch against Aston Villa, because they were quite deflated tonight. And I don't think they've done that well since Jack Grealish has been out. So that's a bit of a concern for Aston Villa. There were kind of like echoes or voices of them winning the league after the first 4 games of the season, especially after they beat Liverpool 7-2. But they've kind of gone off the radar recently. So that'll be interesting to see how they can recover, or when Jack Grealish comes back. So another question I did have around Jack Grealish, is it essential to bring him in? I mean, I think it would be, because if you looked at these stats, he's created 75 chances for Aston Villa. So that was, I think, about 30 more than any other player for Villa, and he has a huge impact on them as a whole. And only for around 7.5 mil, he's an absolute bargain in terms of FPL. And the season he's had, it's been brilliant. So it may be someone I might consider bringing back into my squad, because before he was injured, he was part of my squad, and he was playing week in, week out. So that's definitely someone worth considering bringing in. Is it good to triple up on any defense? Any suggestion? I mean, the best defences, if you look at present form currently, is either Manchester City or Chelsea. And the thing with them is the fact that they have a rotation policy. So the rotation policy is where I would say maybe not, because you could have a week where, like, for example, I've got Cancelo, Stones, and let's say Diaz. Next game week, they might play Zinchenko, Walker, and Laporte. So you might not have any players. Again, with Chelsea, you've got Rudiger, Christensen, Alonso, and then they could play Reece James, Azpilicueta, and then they might bring in another kind of like, maybe Aaron Cresswell. Not Cresswell, sorry. Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell is the one. They might bring him in. So the risk of rotation there. Even in Tottenham, there's a risk of rotation. I think the most consistent kind of like triple up is probably going to be the Man United defence, which is Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, who play week in, week out. But I don't think you need to triple up on Manchester United, because I think Bruno Fernandes is an essential. So no triple up on any team. However, if you do want to triple up, I reckon potentially budget-wise Chelsea. So you could go goalkeeper, and then you could go, which is Mendy, I believe, and then you could go Rudiger for around 4.6 mil, and I'd say Christensen, potentially I reckon he's around the 5 mil mark, I think, as well. Or Chilwell 5.8 mil, and he plays week in, week out. So potentially those three. In terms of Manchester City, you could get Edison in goal, and then Diaz is nailed on. And then I'll definitely, the others are rotation. So you got Cancelo, Walker, John Stones. I'd rather have John Stones because he's around 5.3 mil, a bit cheaper than the other defenders. And if he's not playing, not a problem. Not much a hit on the kind of like overall budget of yours. But that might be a good condition for you to consider a triple up as well. Anywhere else, I probably wouldn't say a triple up on any defence. However, I would say triple up on attack. You can go, I wouldn't say Tottenham. Don't go Bale, Son, Kane. I'd say two of them. Son and Kane is fine. Or Bale and Kane, or Son and Bale, whichever you prefer. In terms of tripling up, I'd say I most likely would prefer to triple up on Man City. So I'll tell you what, so you've got De Bruyne, sort of like Gundogan, who's played phenomenally well this season. And then you can also look at someone like a Mahrez or a Bernardo Silva. Sterling, no, because I don't think he's a good player to consider, because he's been off form and this hasn't been his season either. I mean, if you look at it from that kind of perspective, look at this season. Look at the two players that played, I reckon, probably the best of their career so far in the Premier League last season. So you had Sadio Mane and you had Raheem Sterling. Now, when I was making my Game Week 1 squad, there was a moment where I was trying to get both of them in my squad. Now, I think both of them are starting prices 11.5 mil. So that's 23 million out of your 100 million budget that I would have gone for just on two players. So that's around, a quarter of my budget gone on just those two players. It was worth considering because how well they did last season and the season before. So year on year, they were improving. But this season, they haven't. So I wouldn't definitely go down that end itself. Can you tell us some budget midfielders to bring in? So Rafinha, Lingard, Mason Mount, Zaha, Phil Foden, again, risk of rotation. Sigurdsson, risk of rotation. Suchek, week in, week out, he got a goal and an own goal. How do you guys feel about having them in your squad? So, again, having Suchek in your squad, at least even if you don't play him, on your kind of like full first 11. At least you've got him on your bench. And in terms of your bench, if you don't have a player like, for example, I had Bale who didn't play today, he'll come on and he'll get you some points. Last season he got like 4 goals and like an assist or so, but this season he's come back phenomenally. And he's someone that I've considered for this season as well. And I'm kicking myself for not bringing him in. But I think for next year's setup, he's definitely going to be someone I'm going to put in my team 15 and then make my squad around it. So we can take it from there and see how you guys feel. If there's anyone else that comes to my mind, who else would there be? Greenwood. Yeah, he hasn't got the returns, but he's looking a little bit more reliable. Someone who you can rely upon. Bowen for West Ham. He looks pretty decent as well. Lallana. I think why not? Harrison from Leeds. Ross Barkley, once he's fully fit and he's back in performing, why not consider him? Just got a message, very friendly message from YOLO Gamer HD. Hi man, nice stream. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching and leaving such a nice comment. Big shout out to you as well. So feel free to please visit their channel and see what they deliver. I really appreciate your nice comments. And this is what I look for. I've recently just joined. This is my second live stream, and I've only done I've done 30 odd videos in the last couple of I think 5 to 6 weeks, just trying to get myself solidified in terms of making these videos, being confident in front of camera. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and please continue to watch and support me and let me know where I'm doing well and where I'm not doing so well. Can't believe 42 minutes of the stream have already gone, but I've still got a few more questions that I will go through that you guys have sent through, and then we'll call it a night. So let's have a look at some more questions. Let's go to Insta. How did West Ham screw up a 3-0 lead? Well, that's a good question. I'll be honest with you, when I was watching the game at 3-0, I thought, oh my God, this game is it's done for Arsenal. There's no way they're coming back. And then the more the kind of game went on, the more I kind of thought to myself, it's going to be a 3-3. And I'll tell you what, this game was an absolute replication of the West Ham versus Spurs game. I don't know if you remember that absolute worldie that they scored. It was Lanzini in the last 10 seconds of the game. It was a 3-3. And I think it was like 3-2. And in the last 10 seconds, they did an absolute screamer. I think for me, that's the goal of the season, guys. If you haven't seen it, watch the goal. West Ham versus Spurs, first fixture of this. I think first game kind of fixture of that this season. What a goal it was! It was a 3-3 there, and Spurs messed up their chances then, and that's what happened today with Arsenal as well. So, guys, for me, I think Arsenal kind of brought themselves back into the game. Callum Chambers, how well did he play? Who had him in their squad? Guys, if you're watching this stream right now and you had Callum Chambers in your squad, put a message on this live chat. I want to know, or put it in the comments if you're watching this again later on. Put it in the comments. Let me know if you had him in your squad. Tell me why you brought him into your squad. How do you feel after having him in your squad? And how did that change your game week rank? And these are the kind of differentials that I want to look forward to. Would I ever have thought of bringing Callum Chambers in? Probably not. But what a player. I mean, how much did he get this week? Let's have a look. Let's go. It's definitely going to be the stars of the week, right? Chambers? Nope. Let's go to all players. Let's go to defend. Actually, let's go to Arsenal. Let's go to. His name was Chambers. Yep. So he got one assist with 4 points as well. I think he'll definitely be in line for some bonus points because I think one of them, which was an own goal, he got a deflection off, but he set that up as well. So there's 2 of the first goals were own goals, and he actually put the crosses in. And he was really bringing in some direct traffic from the right-hand side. So yeah, Callum Chambers was a good pick. With Bellerin out, I might have a look at him as well to see if he's going to be someone they're going to persist with in the long term. So that's someone to look out for as well. I got a message from FPL Penguin. Massive shout out to FPL Penguin. If you guys like FPL content, Please go out and check their content out as well. Amazing content. One of my really good friends in terms of making sure that I continue and gives me the confidence to go ahead. So the message they put through is, hey, I've got 57 points, minus 4 points for this week. That's really good. In terms of that, I'm absolutely jealous. Wow, how did you get 57? Please tell me more. Who did you have in your squad? You must have had Harry Kane as captain, Bamford. Yeah, you must have some Brighton players in there, Trossard, right? Or shall I just get out the star squad as well? I mean, that's probably going to be your squad itself. So let's have a look what the All-Stars got in the whole week. 95. You must have had Trossard in your squad. Lingard, Rafinha. I think I'm just going to put out the start of the team week now. I think that's what FPL think Penguins team must be pretty similar to, because getting 57 points, I think that's the highest I've seen so far out of whoever's given me messages through. So well done, FPL Penguin, for what you have got in terms of your score. Big thumbs up and keep up the great work. So if you guys want to check out some good content, please do go out to FPL Penguin and check out their content as well. So a massive shout out to you as well. Keep up the great work. Right, in terms of Leeds defence, it wasn't a great shout. No, it wasn't. Alioski only got me 2. But hey, that's the game. I mean, we were expecting goals this game week. We were expecting teams to concede, and that's part of the game. I mean, I didn't have any more expectations from Alioski. Any worse could have been a yellow card or a sending off or an injury. But thankfully, none of that happened this week. So I'm going to take one final question. Any update in regards to the return of Son? No, so I haven't seen anything for Son at the moment. He's selected for his international squad, his national squad. He's selected for them to play. I doubt he's going to play in that game week. We'll be able to see what his fitness is, and we'll get more around it as well. I'm going to keep him in for now. If I don't hear anything later on, I mean, if he's out for 6 weeks, and then we've already gone through 1, 2 more weeks, 3, it will actually leave him out for 3 weeks. Son's really good at recovering from injury, so we can see it from there, take it from there, see how he comes along. But again, it's something that we'll have to monitor over the next 2 weeks, so I wouldn't change him just yet. There's no update from me. If I do hear anything when I start making my videos for Game Week 30, which will be not next week, the week after, so the start of it in terms of captaincy, I'll give updates in there. Top 5 picks, I'll give an update in there. And then when I reveal my team, I'll do it in that, and then we can do it in the deadline stream as well. So that was my last question. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've seen so many of you tune in and view my stream, and thank you to everyone who has given me so much support. The comments that you guys have left, I really appreciate it. Thank you. You guys are the one that give me the confidence to be here, give this content and do the best I can. I really appreciate your support, guys. If you liked what you've seen, hit the like button, share it with your friends if you like the content and you want them to know about FPL Inkling as well. My name is Mo. Please hit the subscribe button, because if I can get to 500, I'll be able to win a PS5 from my friend by the end of the season. I'm already on 161. Only 8 game weeks to go now, guys. So please hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification icon if you want notifications of when I'm going live or when my streams are coming along. It'd be great for you guys to tune in and share the screen with me and let me know how it's going. And we can build this channel from scratch. You know, I started off about 2 months ago, and I'm already here, and I'm really thankful for you guys for all the feedback you've given that allowed me to give you guys the content you like now. So hit that subscribe button. We'll meet again, and I'll tell you guys now, I haven't done this before. This is my second stream for reaction, so this is my knee-jerk reaction. However, I'm going to do the first live deadline stream, and that will be for this channel, FPL Inkling. I will schedule in a time, so subscribe to be notified and hit the notification icons to be aware if you guys want to be part of that as well. That will be, I'll get it in to your diaries now. So I will start, potentially, it's going to be Saturday the 3rd of April, so maybe around 10 or 10:30, depends. I will be going live for my deadline stream, so be aware and keep in line with it in terms of when I'll be going live. Thank you so much. I hope you guys had a great Game Week 29. Have a safe week. Be safe. Have a good week and enjoy your time off, not stressing about fantasy football for 2 weeks. I'll be back with my new videos coming out for captaincy, followed by top 5 picks then my team reveal, deadline stream, and knee-jerk reaction. Those are the videos and streams I'll definitely get through to you guys.